Every warrior walks a different path. Samurai, the path of discipline. Ronin, the path of independence. Ninja, the path of strategy. Zen monk, the path of wisdom. Shogun, the path of power. But today, we explore the path of the Shogun. You want the empire. You want the crown. You want the world to recognize your name before you have even earned your place. You are drowning in the now. You are a prisoner of the immediate result. If the harvest does not arrive by tomorrow, you believe the seed was a lie. You are addicted to the spark of the start, but you are terrified of the silence of the wait. This is your internal enemy, the short-term man, the reactionary mind that mistakes movement for progress. You live in a culture of the quick win. You chase the trend. You hunt for the shortcut. You are playing a game of weeks while the world is built in decades. The warrior knows a truth that makes the modern man tremble. True strategy is not a plan for a battle. It is the mastery of time itself. It is the ability to sit in the dark while others burn themselves out in the sun. They hesitate. They wait. They fail. You rush. You panic. You lose. This is how you live now. Frantic, unfocused, reactive. This is how the warrior lived. Patient, deliberate, inevitable. To be a shogun is not just to lead an army. It is to lead your own destiny with the cold, calculating precision of a master architect. It is to build a structure so vast that it cannot be toppled by a single storm. Consider the year 1600. Consider a man who had spent his entire life in the shadows of giants. Tokugawa Ieyasu. He was not the strongest. He was not the most charismatic. He was not the most aggressive. For years, he was a hostage in the houses of his rivals. He watched men like Oda Nobunaga burn like a wildfire across Japan. Nobunaga was the storm. He was the lightning that struck the earth. He was brilliant. He was terrifying. And in a flash of betrayal, he was gone. Then came Toyotomi Hideyoshi, the man of grand ambitions, the man who wanted to conquer the stars. He built palaces of gold. He sent armies across the seas. He lived in a fever of expansion, and like all fevers, it eventually broke. He left behind a child and a fractured dream, and in the corner of the room, standing in the shadows, was Ieyasu. The world thought he was a follower. The world thought he was a secondary character in a grander play. They were wrong. Ieyasu was the author. He was the only man in Japan who understood the value of the long game. Strategy is the art of knowing when not to move. It is the discipline to keep your blade in its sheath until the moment it can end the war in a single stroke. Contrast his patience with your urgency. You feel a week of slow progress is a crisis. Ieyasu felt a decade of waiting was merely a preparation. Modern man builds for a weekend. The shogun builds for centuries. You are obsessed with being the first to strike. The shogun is obsessed with being the last one standing. Do you have the stomach for the middle? Do you have the mental strength to be underestimated for years? Most people quit because their ego cannot survive the silence. They need the applause today. They need the validation now. But the shogun needs only the objective. At the Battle of Sekigahara, the fate of an empire rested on a knife's edge. Ieyasu sat in his war pavilion. The rain was a heavy curtain of gray. The mud was deep. The betrayal of his allies was a constant threat. He did not pace. He did not scream commands. He waited for the betrayal he had already engineered. He had spent years planting the seeds of this day. He had written letters in secret. He had made promises that would only trigger when the sun hit the zenith. He wasn't fighting a battle. He was executing a script. This is the hidden lesson of the Shogun. Victory is decided before the sword is drawn. If you are fighting for your life in the moment, you have already failed as a strategist. You are currently fighting your own chaos. You are fighting your lack of discipline. You are fighting your addiction to comfort. You move in silence. You strike in shadow. But you think about the result every 5 minutes. You are leaking energy. You think strategy is about control. It isn't. It is about surrender to the process. Most people never realize this until it is too late. They spend their lives reacting to the moves of others. They are the ball, not the player. They are the wood, not the carpenter. To be a shogun is to decide that you will no longer be a victim of circumstance. You will be the circumstance. Look at your life. Is it a series of short-term reactions, or is it a deliberate construction? You want to start a business, but you quit when the first customer says no. You want to master a craft, but you stop when the repetition becomes boring. You are a hostage to your own moods. Ieyasu was a hostage to kings, yet he was free within his own mind. He knew that the walls of his prison were temporary. His strategy was eternal. Retention is the byproduct of tension. The tension between your current self and your empire. You are distracted because you have no mission large enough to demand your focus. The shogun's mission was the peace of a nation. His vision was the Tokugawa shogunate, a peace that would last 250 years. He didn't want to win the day. He wanted to stop the clock. What is your mission? If it is small, your discipline will be small. If your vision is for next month, your strategy will be fragile. You think you are far from the feudal era. You think their struggles are myths. They are not. Every time you choose the easy path, you are losing a territory. Every time you give in to distraction, you are losing a general. Your mind is a map of Japan. Are the provinces unified, or are they at war with each other? Laziness is a rebel daimyo. Fear is a traitorous vassal. Discipline is the shogun that brings them to heel. The shogun knows that power is not a loud thing. It is a quiet thing. It is the weight of a stone that has sat in the same place for 1,000 years. It is the silence of the forest before the storm. Modern life is a scream. Social media is a roar of competing egos. The shogun does not compete. The shogun waits for the competitors to destroy themselves. He allows his enemies to exhaust their energy on the trivial. He remains centered. He once said, "The strong, manly ones in life are those who understand the meaning of the word patience." Patience is not waiting. Patience is the mindset you maintain while waiting. It is the refusal to let the delay break your spirit. It is the realization that time is the most powerful weapon in your arsenal. You use your time to entertain yourself. The shogun uses his time to position himself. Reinforce the archetype within you. You are the ruler of your own internal landscape. The empire is your character. The empire is your legacy. It is built through the strategic accumulation of small wins.
It is built through the refusal to be moved by the noise of the present. The shogun does not look at the waves. He looks at the tide. The tide is slow. The tide is inevitable. When Ieyasu finally took power, he didn't celebrate with a feast. He didn't relax into his victory. He immediately began to build the structures that would preserve it. He understood that winning is easy. Ruling is hard. Most people win a small victory and then go back to their old habits. They conquer a goal and then surrender to comfort. The shogun knows that the battle is never truly over. The battle simply moves from the field to the castle. The castle is your habit. The castle is your routine. Stop looking for the quick hit of dopamine. Start looking for the long-term compounding of character. Strategy is the death of the impulse. It is the triumph of the higher self over the lower animal. It is the decision to be a king tomorrow rather than a beggar today. The world is full of beggars chasing the next coin. Be the shogun who owns the mint. Tokugawa Ieyasu died in his bed, surrounded by his family. He had unified a nation. He had ended decades of blood. He didn't do it because he was the fastest. He did it because he could endure the most. He could endure the shame of hostagehood. He could endure the boredom of the wait. He could endure the pressure of the strategy. Endurance is the ultimate strategy. Look at your goals. Are they strategies or are they just wishes? A wish is a fragile thing. A strategy is an iron fortress. Build the fortress. Man the walls. Watch the horizon. The world belongs to the man who can wait. The empire belongs to the man who can plan. The shogun is not a man of the past. He is the man you are becoming. Take the long view. Build the empire. Wait for the strike. Every warrior walks a different path. Samurai, the path of discipline. Ronin, the path of independence. Ninja, the path of strategy. Zen monk, the path of wisdom. Shogun, the path of power. Which one are you? Comment below.